Hi, this is Anthony with TradingBTC.com. Today is April 1st, 2022, and I wanted to do a post or an update on Bitcoin. Back on March 22nd here, right around 40, it was just under 42,000. We put out a chart saying a rally was incoming, and you can see here that by the end of the day, Bitcoin did go up and test 43,337. And then you can see the next day we came down, consolidated a bit, and then we started making another run up to the 200-day moving average, right around 48,315. Now, in this period of time here, from the post to the move up to the 200-day moving average, you can see the oscillator continued to accelerate to the upside. Once it hit the 200-day moving average, which is resistance, we then saw a pullback. And this yellow line represents previous support that then became resistance and is now acting as support once again. What I mean by that is going back to the trading back in December, this yellow line was support for the move back in December. Price broke the support, came down ultimately to stop at 34,160. And then you can see it go sideways, retested previous support, which is now resistance, tried to retest it again, couldn't get up there, failed, came back down, tested the previous low, successfully held, and then made another move up to resistance, again, which was previous support, was now resistance, failed, tried again, failed. So you can just see that it was bouncing around underneath this prior support, now resistance level. And if you notice on Bitcoin, when price did go up and test the 200-day moving average and stop the rally, we came down, which was yesterday, and again tested support, and it failed. And we saw a rapid move to the downside, and so far we're seeing a wick today. We're at the high of the day, right around 46,300 or so. And so what happened here is traders that were long had a stop loss, whether mentally or physically, at this prior resistance, which should now be support, and those longs got flushed. Also, shorts that got on or put on short positions once it bounced down below the 200-day moving average after testing it were also closing out their shorts in this area here. So now if you take a look to see where we're at, the oscillators continue to run to the upside. And if you go over to the left here on the scale, you'll see that it's roughly at 0.038. What that means is that I'm just going to call that 4%. The oscillator is 4% above the zero line, which is this red line. Now, in previous moves to the upside, you can take a look at the oscillator that got up to 0.08 and also 0.09. And this was back going to August and October, November timeframe. So the oscillator at 4% above the zero line is certainly not overbought. There's plenty of room for it to continue to run to the upside. And so considering that we're not overbought, considering that we went up and tested the 200-day moving average, it failed, broke down through support, flushed out some longs, shorts then covered, bringing price right back up to 46,316. So where we're currently standing right now is I fully expect to not only retest this 200-day moving average at 48,000 roughly, but to also poke through and to see a rally up towards this 50,000 range. So I would say between 50,000 and 52,000 is where I would expect price to get to next. Now that's going to be a very interesting price point because there's going to be a lot of shorts that have been waiting to see 50,000 to reshort it. So at this level, assuming Bitcoin does get up to the 50 to 52,000 level, there's going to be an awful lot of shorts coming in. And depending on whether there are more buyers than those that are shorting, we can see another move to the upside just on flushing the shorts that are going to be put on at about 50,000 or so. So again, we're coming up to another interesting point here. If we can get past this 200-day moving average, which I fully expect we will, and then it's going to be who's got more power, the shorts or the longs. And so I'll keep updating as we go along. The other chart that I wanted to give an update on was Omesigo. Back on March 22nd, price was about 470, and we had highlighted this oscillator as well. You can see here that the character of the oscillator changed. If you go back to this trading history here, you can see by the red arrows here, you had a high, you had a lower high, you had an even lower high, and we move into the end of February, and price hits a low represented by these yellow arrows, and then price hits another higher low, and then once again a higher low. Now notice then what starts happening with the oscillators. We start accelerating back to the zero line. Again, the red line is the zero line, so this is actually negative momentum here, but it's less negative, less negative, less negative, less negative, positive. And then it really starts to accelerate. And so at this point, from March 22nd at about 481 in price, you can see that right now Omesigo is right at 588 roughly. There's still an awful lot of momentum that's being built. And so I fully expect to see Omesigo to get to the $7 price range. And at that point, because momentum is accelerating much more at this point, I would expect it not only to get to 7, but also get up to the 200-day moving average, just like with Bitcoin, to test the moving average at $8. And so if we look at the oscillator in terms of whether it's overbought or not, it's at 6%. Let's just call that 7% above the zero line. And when we go back to previous time frame, we can see the oscillator in this case, it got as high as 23%. So we certainly can't say that Omesigo is overbought in terms of the oscillator. And the way price is moving up, you can see it's moving up, but it's moving, I would say, more sideways up versus having just a vertical move. So I would expect that there's going to be some type of a vertical move coming. Maybe there's some news coming out or something to accelerate price, not only to the $7, but also to the $8 price range. If you are interested in learning more about the oscillator, just hit me up on a direct message, and I'll get you set up on your trading view. Thanks very much for your time. Good luck trading.